शुक्लांबरधरं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै। नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। ॐ नमः परमहंसास्वादितचरणकमलचिन्मकरन्दाय भक्तजनमानसनिवासाय श्रीरामचन्द्राय ॐ। So, on the auspicious occasion of Dhanatrayodashi, it's called Dhanatrayodashi or also Dhanvantari Trayodashi, Dhanvantari Jayanti also. We have seen already in Kshirasagara Mathanam story, which came just some chapters back. Dhanvantari was, aroused, or he came up there during Kshirasagara Mathanam, and also on the eve of many important days. So Deepavali is celebrated variously for various reasons. For some, tomorrow itself is Deepavali. Naraka Chaturdashi is celebrated as Deepavali, mostly in southern India. The same Chaturdashi is also celebrated as Kali Puja in eastern part of India. And Deepavali, the Amavasya Deepavali is celebrated all over India as Deepavali. And it has to do with Rama also. In northern India, they believe this was the day that Rama came back to Ayodhya. There is a joke also. So some North Indians, when they come to South India to study and things like that, they wonder how come on Naraka Chaturdashi itself people are celebrating Deepavali. Then they have to come up with some answer, and they think that that's because Rama had to come from Sri Lanka to Ayodhya. So he came one day before only to southern India. Therefore, they're celebrating like that. But of course, these are all baseless stories. I mean, people are just imagining, nothing wrong, but then at least they are thinking of Rama directly or indirectly. It's a great thing. Naraka Chaturdashi is also the day of Samadhi of Muthuswami Dikshitar. So Deepavali has a very wide, what should I say, importance all over India for various reasons. Naraka Chaturdashi or Deepavali, both of them have great significance. And on that auspicious occasion of Deepavali, on that eve, around that time, we are starting this extremely beautiful story of Ahalya. So Ahalya Shapodharanam. So it's not exactly a Shapa also, that we will see as we proceed in this chapter. Atha Ashtachatvarimsha Sargaha. So 48th chapter, we have seen that these people cross the city, cross Ganga, go to the other direction and reach this Vishala Nagari. So Rama asks about Vishala Nagari, who's ruling over currently, etc. Vishwamitra answers all that. After all that is over, this Vishala's king himself, the current reigning king, Sumati, who is a descendant of Ikshvaku, he himself comes to receive Vishwamitra. They talk to each other, etc. And they stay there also that night. That is the idea. So Vishwamitra proposes that we will stay there, and then the story happens. They are discussing what is to be. They are discussing, Sumati, how are you, etc. Those things, exchange pleasantries are being exchanged, and now starts this Ashtachatvarimsha Sargaha. Prishtva tu kushalam tatra paraspara samagame kathante sumatirvakyam vyajahara mahamunim. So kushalam prishtva means after asking for, after exchanging pleasantries, after asking for welfare, etc. So when paraspara samagame, so why was this pleasantries exchanged? Because Sumati came to meet Vishwamitra, both of them met each other. Paraspara samagame kushalam prishtva. So they say ubhaya kushalopari. That is, initially in letters they used to write like that. That initially all the pleasantries assume that have been exchanged, and then further, this is what I want to say. They used to write in letters like that. So this is something like that. Kushalam prishtva, having exchanged pleasantries when they both of them met. Paraspara samagame. Kathante sumatihi vyakyam vyajahara mahamunim. So Kathante sumatihi mahamunim vakyam vyajahara. That is, Sumati spoke these following words to that Mahamuni. Kathante here means, so very nicely, Katha, this I told you earlier also. Katha is that conversation. So at the end of that conversation, that is at the end of exchanging pleasantries, Sumati spoke the following words to Vishwamitra Mahamuni. Imau kumaro bhadram te devatulya parakramau gajasinhula vrishamau खड्गतून धनुर्धरौ अश्विनाविव रूपेण समुपस्थित यौवनौ यदृच्छयैव गां प्राप्तौ देवलोकादिवामरौ कथं पद्भ्यामिह प्राप्तौ किमर्थं कस्य वा मुने भूषयन्ता विमं देशं चन्द्रसूर्या विवाम्बरं परस्परेण सदृशौ प्रमाणेङ्गितचेष्टितैः किमर्थं च नरश्रेष्ठौ सम्प्राप्तौ दुर्गमे पथि वरायुधरौ वीरौ श्रोतुमिच्छामि तत्त्वतः. So the Sumati is extremely amazed to look at Rama and Lakshmana. He's saying, who are these people? They look like devatas and they have come along with you on this forest land. They have come walking. They seem to be kids also, and you have brought them and they have come all the way walking. Sumati is extremely, amazed looking at Rama and Lakshmana. So the understanding is he has this idea that Rama and Lakshmana, so none other than Vishnu and Adisesha, something like that. And he's amazed how come these people have come along with you, hey Vishwamitra. That's the idea he's asking. So very beautiful shlokas, set of I think five shlokas. Five shlokas. So whenever you have to understand, so beginning from here, of course, some of these prakriyas was there earlier also. You will see that whenever Valmiki has to dwell on something or impress upon you something, then he writes so more than one shloka at least, so 2-3 shlokas he writes. That means it's some emphasis. So this amazement of Sumati is being emphasized on. That's why he is asking in so many verses. He's asking, or rather, he's speaking in so many verses about Rama and Lakshmana, and this usage of Dvivachana. If this entire shloka is Dvivachana, he's asking about Rama and Lakshmana. Here and there, you will find such shlokas on Rama and Lakshmana and Valmiki Ramayana together, especially in Aranyakanda, etc. And I think I told this earlier also about Rama and Lakshmana. I think this came a little earlier also when Vishwamitra started taking Rama and Lakshmana with them. So there are some beautiful verses in Valmiki Ramayana when this Dvivachana is used for Rama and Lakshmana together. And there was a beautiful shloka like that. I think it's written by Tulsidas. So I'm not able to recollect this. With beautiful shlokas like that in Dvivachana using Rama and Lakshmana both. So Sukumarau, Mahabalau, Pundarika, Vishalakshau, Chira Krishna Jinambarau. So a shloka like that by Tulsidas. And then this other shloka that I have already mentioned. So this forms part of Rama Raksha Stotram. So Arta Sajja Dhanusha Vishuspurusha Vakshaya Shuga Nishanga Sanginau Rakshanaya Mama Rama Lakshmana Vagratah Pathi Sadaiva Gacchatam. So these beautiful shlokas are there even in Valmiki Ramayana. They are there, and then even otherwise outside Valmiki Ramayana also, using this Dvivachana and writing shlokas on Rama and Lakshmana. It's very beautiful. In fact, to me, if you ask me personally, so it's just a sentimental opinion. In fact, there is Dvivachana so prevalent in Samskrita literature, Samskrita Vyakarana, only to describe Rama and Lakshmana. Okay, so we have some of these important, pairs, not necessarily pairs also, like Rama and Lakshmana, who are always inseparable. So to describe beauty of such kind of pairs is why we have Dvivachana so rampant in Samskrita Vyakarana. In no other, at least Indian language, there is this Dvivachana, so it's not there. In fact, maybe it was there and was lost. I don't know. That linguists will be able to say. But right now, only Samskrita uses this Dvivachana so rampantly. I don't know about other classical languages in the world. Anyway, coming back to what Sumati is saying. So exact words of Sumati, Valmiki is quoting here. So Imau Kumaro Bhadramte. First of all, he's telling, hey Vishwamitra, may good happen to you. This Bhadramte is also in Ashcharyarthaka. Okay. So he's saying, oh, this is amazing. So hey Vishwamitra, may good happen to you. Please tell me who are these people. Imau Kumaro Devatulya Parakramo. So Devatulya Parakramo. Imau Kumaro means these two Kumaras. Devatulya Parakramo means in Parakrama they are equal to Devatas. That's the idea. And then Devatulya Parakramo. So this, on these set of 5 chapters, Govinda Raja has a very long commentary to talk about. I will tell you some aspects of it, not entirely, because this he says directly Sumati seeing Rama and Lakshmana as Vishnu himself. So Vishnu and Adisesha. So therefore he has some beautiful commentary to write here. And then Shiromanikar also, Devatulya Parakramo means Devo Krida Shilo Tulya Parakramo Parasvara Sadrisha Parakramavataya Pratiyamano. This Devatulya Parakramo, if you understand the next words, then I will be able to explain this again. So for now, Devatulya Parakrama, you take it as, so in their prowess, they are equal to Devatas. That is one meaning. So this Gajasimha Gati, this Dirgham is there in E, that is also Dvivachana. So their Gati, their gait is like Gaja and Simha. So this Gaja and Simha you can apply to both or individually. For example, so Rama and Lakshmana both have Gajagati and both have Simhagati. You can say that way. Or you can say Rama has Gajagati and Lakshmana has Simhagati. That way also you can say. So Gajagati for majesty, you know, when elephant is going, walking, if you see, so it doesn't bother about situations around it. So majestically it is going by itself. And Simhagati is for Parakrama. When Simha is going, then nobody dares to move around. In fact, everybody tries to walk, run away. So something like that. So in majesty and in Parakrama. So in majesty, their gait is like Gajagati, and in Parakrama, their gait is like Simhagati. So Veera, both of them are Veeras. Or Shardula Vrishabhopamo. They are also, both are looking like Shardulas, both are looking like Vrishabha. Shardula is tiger and Vrishabha is, you know, that ox or bull. So Vrishabha, both are looking like Shardula, both are looking like Vrishabha. So Shardula also again. So Shardula, why? Because um, so Durdharshatvena. So because of Durdharshatvat, they are looking like Shard. That is, they are invincible. That's why they are looking like Shardula, and they are also Unnata Skanda. That is, they are very have their you know, their shoulders are very long. That is, they are looking, so that body is like that, tall figure and then long shoulders, etc. That's why Rishabhopamo. Usually, whenever you have to describe shoulders in Sanskrit literature, they are compared to ox. You know, so Vyudho, Rasko, Rishaskandho, etc. Their skandha is always described with these ox or bull, whatever Rishabha is. So Simha, so again, both of them are looking like Shardula, both are looking like Rishabha, you can say, or Rama is looking like Shardula, and this Lakshmana is looking like Rishabha. So similarly, this Devatulya Parakrama also, you can make it as two words. Both are looking like Devatas and both are Tulya Parakrama. Tulya Parakrama means, so both are a match to each other. So Rama is a match to Lakshmana, Lakshmana is a match to Rama. What it means is, so this way of saying, so Tulya Parakrama means there is no person who's matched to both of them. That's the idea in saying Rama is a match to Lakshmana. So who can you compare Rama with? Only Lakshmana you can compare Rama with. Similarly, only Rama you can compare Lakshmana with, etc. It means that both of them are having no third person that you can compare with. So Devatulya Parakramo, Gajasimha Gati, Veerau, Shardula, Vrishabhopamo, these are all, you know, adjectives to Rama and Lakshmana that the Sumati is seeing. Padmapatra, Vishalakshav, so they have these. Padmapatra means, you know, those petals of lotus, and Visha, so their eyes are wide. Vishala like Padmapatra, like petals of lotus. Khadga, Tuna, Dhanurdharau, so they are having Khadga sword, and Tuna is quivers of arrows, and then Dhanus, both are having bows. And Ashwina Viva Rupena Ashwina Viva, both of them are very handsome like Ashwini Kumaras, they say. So, and also Ashwini, I think Ashwini Nakshatra always has a pair, I think something like that. Anyway, this Ashwini, so Ashwini Kumaras, both of them are always together, they are a pair. So Ashwina Viva Rupena, in beauty they are like Ashwinas, very handsome people, they say, those devatas. And Samupasthita Yavvano, Samupasthita Yavvana here is, you know, that youth, that young age. So Samupasthita Yavvana means they are now have, so they are the prime of their youth, we say, you know, that is what Samupasthita Yavvana means. Or you can say Ashwina Viva Rupena Samupasthita Yavvana, that is these people's Rupa and youth is like those Ashwini Kumaras, you can say like this. You see here, I'm just comparing it with today's class might take 5-10 minutes extra. Already we are just still here anyway. So first Sumati is observing their gait, that is first he's observing their feet, you can say, and then he's observing the eyes. Padmapatra Vishalaksha, he's observing their eyes, etc. So there is a description in Bhagavatam where the Sanat Kumaras, all the Brahmamanasa Putras have a darshan of Vishnu. So you must be knowing that story. They go and Jaya and Vijaya stop them, and then you know all that story. Ultimately Vishnu comes out after these people curse and things like that. So there is a very beautiful shloka there in Bhagavatam. What is the shloka? I should remember the shloka and quote like this, but then anyway, yeah. Tasyaravinda nayanasya padaravinda kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda vayuhu antargata swavivarena chakara tesham sankszobham akshara jusham api chittatanvoho. So in a way this is controversial shloka also, I will tell you why. But then there, you know, people, so Brahmamanasa Putra saw the eyes first. Tasya Aravinda Nayanasya. They start with Aravinda Nayana first, they see. Tasya Aravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda. Then immediately they see the feet, because the beauty of the eyes is so much that they can't look at the eyes directly. So they immediately bow their head and look at the feet, etc. So even the feet is so beautiful, they can't even look just at the feet. They look at the Tulasi Dalam, that is at the feet. But even the Tulasi is so beautiful, so they are intoxicated by the fragrance of the Tulasi that is coming from the lotus feet of that Vishnu who has lotus eyes. That's the idea in Bhagavatam. So, you know, the descriptions will be like that. And then, so why am I saying controversial? Because so Sankshobham Akshara Jusham api Chitta Tanvoho Chakara. So these people are Brahma Manasa Putras are great jnanis, you know, they are established in Nirguna Brahman. So there, so but then so Akshara Jusham, they are people who are established in Akshara Parabrahma, that is Nirguna Brahma. But this the fragrance of the tulasi leaves can so is intoxicating even those people who are established in Akshara Brahma. So Akshara Jusham api Chitta Tanvoho. So their chitta, that is their mind and body, this is intoxicating, that fragrance of tulsi leaves coming from Vishnu. So immediately these people, you know, these Dvaitins immediately bring in the idea that, you know, Saguna Brahman is more, you know, what you call as Saguna Brahman. They say that is what is the form of Brahman, is more attractive and more captivating than what you call as Nirguna Brahman, etc. But then we bring in Bhakti. So because of Bhakti, all that is there, be that as it may. So Padmapatra Vishalakshav, these people have wide lotus petal like eyes, Khadgatuna Dhanudharau, Ashwinaviva Rupena Samupasthita Yovano, we have seen. Yadrichayaiva Gam Praptau Devaloka Divamaro. So Yadrichaya Amaraviva Devalokad Gam Praptau. That is, so Amaraviva like Devata, they are looking like Devatas, Amaraviva, and then Yadrichayaiva Gam Praptau. So out of their own accord or out of their own will, it looks like they have come Gam Prapto. So here Gau means Prithvi. So Gam Prapto. So Gam Prapto Yadrichaya. So out of their own will, out of their own accord, they are looking like Devatas who have come to earth out of their own accord, you know, just for Leelaya. So out of their own accord, they felt like coming to earth, so they came. It looks like that. Katham Padbhyam Iha Prapto. So hey Vishwamitra, how did you bring these people by walk? You know, Padbhyam Iha Prapto. So how did they come till here by walking? So they are Devatas, all right, but you have brought them by walking. You know, how did you get them here? Kimartham Kasyavamune. Kimartham Iha Prapto. That is, for what purpose have they come here? And Kasya. So these people, Imau Kasya, that is, these are whose children? That is one idea. Kasya Sutau. So that is the one. That is one idea. Or so Govinda Raja says here, Kasya Kimartham Iha Prapto. Kasya Kam Brahma we say. So Kasya here means so Vishnu Brahmanaha, etc. So Kasya Kimartham. That is, for what purpose of that Brahman have they come here? Or for what purpose of that Vishnu have they come here? That is, Vishnu has some purpose, and that he has taken this, it looks like that Vishnu has taken this human birth for some purpose and come here. So what is that purpose? That's the idea. So Kasya Kimartham Iha Prapto, you can take that way, or Kimartham Iha Prapto and Kasya Putro or Kasya Sutau, these people are whose children, all that. So Hey Mune, so you tell me that. And so here Hey Mune, when he's saying, so I think one of the Tikakaras is telling that this is what he's asking for, telling quickly. So Bhadramte, tell quickly. So Bhadramte also indicates that you tell quickly, but then he's observing that Vishwamitra is taking a few seconds to reply. So immediately he's again, you know, he's interested so much that he's again asking the same questions. Bhushayanta Vimam Desham Chandra Surya Ivambaram. So Ambaram Chandra Surya Viva, like Chandra and Surya. So they kind of what should I say? They illuminate Ambaram skies. These people are illuminating this desha that they have come, or they are ornamenting the desha. These people have come to my kingdom. They are like ornamenting my kingdom, like Chandra and Surya are ornamenting the sky. So Imam Desham Chandra Suryam Chandra Suryo Ambaram Bhushayantau Iva. So like Chandra and Surya ornament the sky by their own tejas, they illuminate the sky. These people are also illuminating my desha. That is Kimartham Iha Prapto, etc. So that is the same thing he's asking in some sense. Parasparena Sadrsho. This Parasparena Sadrsho is nothing but the Tulya Parakrama that we have seen. So Parasparena Sadrsho is they are Sadrusha to each other. That is, they are similar to each other. Rama is similar to Lakshmana, Lakshmana is similar to Rama. Parasparena Sadrsho Pramanengita Cheshtitaihi. So they are equal to each other in three ways. On three counts, they are measured to each other. So what is that? Pramana. Pramana here is bodily height, etc. And Ingita is all the thoughts that are there in the mind, which we cannot see. That is called Ingita. And Cheshtita is the physical, you know, what should I say? Physical acts and also the mannerisms. The physical mannerisms also, both of them are looking equal. They are a match to each other. Kimarthancha Narashreshthau Sampraptau Durgame Pathi. So for what purpose have they come here? And then so they have come here Durgame Pathi, in this forest land. So they have traveled all this forest place and come here. Why did they come here? Kimartham Sampraptau. Why did they come till here in this forest land? And then Narashreshthau. So Narashreshthas, they are looking like two best amongst men. That is again here something like that. Kasya Putrau, that in that sense also maybe he's asking Narashreshthau, and Varayudha Dharo Viro. So again, like Khadgatuna Dhanudharo, here he's telling Varayudha Dharo. So Bhushanakara, so Govinda Raja has very nice ways to explaining why he is saying the two things same. So when he said Khadgatuna Dhanudharo, there he means Khadga, Tuna and Dhanush as their ornaments. Here Varayudha Dharo, when he's telling they are holding the same thing, sword and bana and arrows, etc. But here he means it as ayudha. There looks, so when he said the first time, it looks to him that they are abharanas. Here he is asking in the sense of ayudhas. So this khadga, Rama and Lakshmana always hold a khadga also. We will see in Kabandha Vada, etc., that they use a khadga and cut the hands of Kabandha, etc. So popularly, of course, so Rama is Dhanudhari, etc. But khadga is also always there. Anyway, Varayudha Dharo, Veerav, again, both of them powerful people. Here, Veerav also, if I can locate that portion from Govinda Raja. So, Veerav, Purvam Veera Shabdaha Anyatha Vyakhyataha. So, here Veerav is Virya Yuktau. There, when he said Veerav, Veerav, he has a very beautiful explanation for Veerav. Veerav has come twice. So, first time Veerav means, so Visheshena Ravayataha Shatrun iti Veerav. So this is because in dual it is telling like that. If you have to put it in single, I have to say Visheshena Ravayati Shatrun. That is they who, so he who specifically very nicely makes the Shatrus cry, okay, or make them cry in pain or something like that. He is called a Veera. So both of them are capable of doing that. That is what Veerav there means. Here Veerav, it means simply people who have prowess. Veerav Shrotum Ichchami Tattvataha. Hey Mune, please tell me all this. I want to know in detail. So Tattvataha, when he's saying, so again Govinda Raja is telling, or one of the commentators is telling that it seems to me that these people are some devatas who have come. So that much I can in general I am able to know, but in detail, in specific, you tell me. Tattvataha here means specifically tell me who are these people, etc. Anyway, Tattvataha. Tasya tad vachanam shrutva yathavrittam. Or this I have to read. Tasya tad vachanam shrutva yathavrittam nyavedayat siddhashrama nivasam cha rakshasanam vadham yatha Vishwamitra vacha shrutva raja parama vismitaha. This Vishwamitra vacha shrutva I think has to go with next one. So tasya tad vachanam shrutva yathavrittam nyavedayat. So having heard. So tasya means that sumatehe vachanam tad vachanam shrutva yathavrittam nyavedayat. So yathavrittam nyavedayat means is Vishwamitra. Nyavedayat is he recounted here, you can say. So he told him yathavrittam, all that has happened in that order he has mentioned to that Sumati. And this half verse, Siddhashrama Nivasam cha Rakshasanam Vadham Yatha, this is not there in Tilakakara's Patha, but then I am reading it out. Siddhashrama Nivasam, that is, what is that Yathavrittam, all that has transpired, Vishwamitra told him means, so how they went to Siddhashrama, that is how Vishwamitra brought them from Ayodhya, took them to Siddhashrama, and there how he put an end first to Tataka, then Maricha, Subahu. So all that story, if you see actually in Ramayana story, what has happened so far is Rama and Lakshmana have put an end to Tataka, Maricha, Subahu, and they have travelled along with Vishwamitra. All that has happened in between is other people's story, if you recount. In Rama's own story, what has happened so far is they are travelling along with Vishwamitra. They put an end to Tataka, Maricha and Subahu. So that all he said. So he need not tell, these people asked me about that, so I told them about this place, they asked me about this place, all that he didn't tell. So Siddhashrama Nivasam cha Rakshasanam Vadham Yatha. So the way in which they put an end to those Rakshasas, etc., all that Yathavrittam Nyavedayat. Vishwamitra vacha shrutva Raja Paramavismitaha. That Raja, having heard those words of Vishwamitra, so that Raja Sumati, so Paramavismitaha, he became extremely amazed. That is, he came to know, okay, these are, so he certain they could put an end to such Rakshasas like Maricha, Subahu, Tataka, etc., then definitely these people are Avatara Purushas or Vishnu only. So he could also understand. Now, Atiti Paramam Prapto Putro Dasharathasya Tau Pujayamasa Vidhivat Satkarharhau Mahabalau. So Atiti, this Dirgham again is in Vivachana, these people, so Paramam Prapto. So Dasharathasya Tau Putrau, those two people, those Atiti Paramam Prapto. So he got them as great Atithis. So Atiti Paramam Prapto is they have arrived as his Atithis, to his kingdom. And then Paramam Prapto, here you can say out of his great fortune, he got them as Atithis to his kingdom. Pujayamasa, having got them as Atithis to his kingdom. That is, he didn't even decide upon it. So they themselves came to his kingdom. And therefore Pujayamasa, Vidhivat Pujayamasa. So he offered all the courtesies, puja, etc. That is honor. He honored them. They are also princes, you know. So he honored them according to whatever is the protocol. And Satkar Harho Mahabalo. These people are Satkara. So Satkara Harho Pujayamasa. This is like saying, so because they deserved that Satkara, he also offered that Satkara, and they are Mahabalo. Both of them had prowess. ततः परमसत्कारं सुमते प्राप्य राघवौ उष्य तत्र निशाम एकाम जग्मतुर्मिथिलां ततः. So ततः परमसत्कारं प्राप्य, so after, so thereafter, that is, he offered that satkara, and these people also received the satkara. Sumatehe paramasatkaram prapya, those two, Raghavau, Rama and Lakshmana, ushya, so ekam nisham tatra ushya. Ushya means ushitva. So for one night, so this is Chandasa Prayoga, for one night they stayed in that kingdom of Vishala, and then tataha, the next morning, Mithilam Jagmatuhu, they went towards Mithila Nagari. ताम दृष्ट्वा मुनयः सर्वे जनकस्य पुरीं शुभां साधु साध्वितिशं संतो मिथिलां समपूजयन्. So that Mithila, now they have reached the outskirts of Mithila, and at a distance they can already see Mithila Puri. So from a distance they can see Mithila Puri, can mean that, so maybe Mithila also had these, you know, tall buildings, etc., like even Ayodhya had. So we have seen in the beginning of Balakanda when Ayodhya was described, so they had seven-storied buildings in Ayodhya, according to Valmiki Ramayana. So maybe those tall buildings were there, and they could already spot that this is Mithila. Or the other way could mean these people are staying on a hill and Mithila is somewhere down. That is not likely, because that's not a hilly region. If you see Mithila, etc., I suppose. So anyway, so here Mithila had these beautiful buildings, etc. Maybe so they could already spot from the outskirts. They have not exactly reached Mithila. He's going to say that. So they are on the outskirts of Mithila, and they are already able to spot. So tam drishtva, so Janakasya tam purim, shubham purim drishtva, having seen that very auspicious nagari of Janaka, sarve munayaha sadhu sadhriti mithilam samapujayan samshantaha. So they samapujayan means, so Samapujayan is they kind of eulogized here. So they eulogized that Mithila Nagari. How did they eulogize? Sadhu sadhriti shamsantaha samapujayan. So they eulogized by saying, shamsantaha means by saying sadhu. Sadhu is an expression of expressing wonder. So sadhu. So they expressed wonder at that Mithila Nagari. Mithilopa vane tatra ashramam drishya raghavaha puranam nirjanam ramyam Papracha Munipungavam. So Mithilopavane, this shows that they have not yet reached Mithila but are on the outskirts. So Mithilopavane means, so Upavana means, so Mithila Samipavarti Vanam, that is the idea. That is, this is a Vanam or a forest land that is closer to Mithila, or on the outskirts of Mithila. There is this Vanapradesha, and then Tatra Ashramam Drishya, they see one ashrama. So Raghavaha, Rama, sees there an ashrama. And how is that ashrama? Puranam. It looks very ancient. The ashrama looks very ancient, but then it is nirjanam. So it is having no people there. So it is abandoned ashrama, and then but it's also ramyam. It is puranam, it is nirjanam, but still it is ramyam. It is very captivating. So having seen such a captivating, ancient but deserted ashrama, Munipungamam papracha Raghavaha, Rama is asking this Munipungava, the Vishwamitra, he is asking this question. What is he asking? Idamashrama sankasham kimvidam munivarjitam shrotumichhami bhagavan kasyayam purva ashramaha. So idam ashrama sankasham, he Mune, he Vishwamitra, this is looking like an ashrama. Ashrama sankasham. So kimnu idam. So this is looking like an ashrama. So what is this? So kimnu means what is this? That is, so is this an ashrama or is it something else? So it is looking like an ashrama to me, but it is munivarjitam. It is not having any munis. So if it is actually an ashrama, there should have been munis, but there are no munis, but still it is looking like an ashrama. Therefore, Rama is kind of perplexed. What is this exactly? Please tell me. Shrotum ichhami Bhagavan, hey Vishwamitra, I desire to know this. So, but then while Rama is now sure, so when he's having this doubt, so the samshaya is there, is this an ashrama or something else? But by the time he has already asked, he has decided, yes, this is an ashrama, and therefore he's asking, whose ashrama is this? So Kasyayam Purva Ashramaha. So Kasya Ayam Purva Ashramaha means, so who owned this ashrama earlier? So he is asking Kasya Purva Ashramaha. That means that because now there is nobody, somebody should have lived there at some point of time. So who used to live there, or who used to, own this ashrama? That is what Rama is asking. Tad Shritva Raghavenoktam Vakyam Vakya Visharadaha Pratyuvacha Mahateja Vishwamitro Mahamunihi. So Raghavena Uktam Tad Vachanam Tad Vakyam Shrutva. So having heard those words spoken by Raghava Rama, so this Vakya Visharadaha Muni, this Muni who is Vakya Visharadaha, who's expert in speaking words. That is, he is expert in communication, we say. So Vakya Visharada, he knows how to convey what he wants to convey. Pratyuvacha Mahateja, that Vishwamitraha Mahamunihi, Mahamuni Vishwamitra, so who's also having great tejas, Mahateja. Pratyuvacha, he spoke in reply to Rama's question. Hantate kathayishyami shrunu tattvena raghava yasyetadashramapadaṁ shaptam kopan mahatmanah. So hanta is used both in terms of happiness or even in sadness. They say hanta. So hanta is just an expression, like you say hey, oh, alas, something like that. So hanta is used in both. So happiness also hanta is used, in sorrow also hanta is used. Here hanta is out of happiness. So why is he saying hanta? Why is he very happy, Vishwamitra? That he knows now that Ahalya's Shapa Vimochanam time has come. So Vishwamitra knows that mentally, and that's why he's very happy that the time is now approaching. So Hanta te kathaishyami shrunu, hey Rama, I will tell you, hey Raghava. So Tatvena kathaishyami, I will tell you exactly what happened. Please listen to me. Yasyetad ashrama padam. So Yasya Mahatmanaha kopat etad ashrama padam shaptam. So by which Mahatma's anger, kopa, this ashrama has been cursed, that I will tell you. So savadhanamana shrunu, so you attentively listen. Gautamasya narashreshta purvam asin mahatmanah ashramo divya sankashaha surairapi supujitaha. So he narashreshta Rama, Gautamasya mahatmanah purvam asit ashrama. This ashrama once upon a time belonged to that Mahatma Gautama, and this ashrama is divya sankashaha. So it is equal. So it is like an ashrama that would have been in heaven. So it is looking heavenly, very divine ashrama. Therefore, Surairapi Supujitaha, even Devatas used to worship, or rather Devatas also used to praise the glory of this ashrama. Sachatra tapa atishta dahalya sahitah pura varsha pugan yane Rajaputra Mahayashaha. So he Mahayasha, he Rajaputra, Saha means Gautama, Saha Gautamaha, Atra Ahalya Sahitaha Pura Atishtat. So here that Gautama once upon a time used to live along with Ahalya. Ahalya Sahitaha Gautamaha Atra Pura Tapa Atishtat. Sorry. So he used to live here by performing tapas along with Ahalya, his wife. So Varshapugan Yanekani Tapa Atishtat. So for many groups or many, what should I say, many hosts of years. So for many years together. So Varsha Pugani means so for many bunches of years. Literally it means that is for many years together along with his wife Ahalya. Gautama stayed in this ashrama and performed tapas. Hey Rajaputra, hey Mahayasha. So this Rajaputra Mahayasha is my humble kind of interpretation. So Rajaputra, hey Vishnu, you have taken avatara as Rajaputra, as this Rama. Now is the time for you to gain this eternal glory, Mahayasha. Now you will be Mahayasha also, eternal glory by by blessing Ahalya with your presence. Tasyantaram viditva cha sahasraksha shachipatihi muniveshadharo bhutva ahalyam idam abravit. So tasyantaram viditva means Gautamasya antaram viditva, that is Gautama. So this sahasraksha shachipatihi, sahasraksha is Indra, shachipati, Shachi Devi is the wife of Indra. So this Shachipati Indra, tasya antaram viditva, that is having known that this Gautama has gone somewhere. So having known that, so on one particular day, you can say, so when he knew that Gautama was not there in the ashrama, what did he do? Munivesha dharo bhutva, he took up the form of a Muni. So which Muni's form he took, that may not be very evident here, but later Gautama himself will say, you assumed my form and came here. So here Munivesha dharaha bhutva means you can say Gautama Munivesha dharaha bhutva, that Sahasraksha Ahalyam idam abravit. He spoke the following words to Ahalya by assuming the form of Gautama. So here one of the commentators telling Shachipatihi Sahasraksha. Why is he using Shachipati as an adjective to Sahasraksha Indra? Because that shows that his Ahalya is even more beautiful than Shachi, his own wife. That's the idea. Now, Ritukalam pratikshante narthinas susamahite sangamam tvahamichhami tvaya saha sumadhyame. So he susamahite. Susamahite, I think Tilakakara is telling Susamahite means Ekagra Chitte. This Ahalya is also immersed in tapas. So she is Gautama's bharya. So therefore Susamahite, that is one way. Or one of the other commentators saying Susamahite means Samyak Brahmana Nirmite Ati Sundari Ityartha. This is Govinda Raja. So Susamahite means very nicely crafted by Brahmaji. That is the idea. There is a story like that, various versions of the story. There is one story like that in Uttarakhand also, I think, that Brahmaji created this lady whom he named as Ahalya, and then so I don't remember the details, but then this, I think he named her Ahalya and entrusted her initially to Gautama, and then for some years, so Gautama was supposed to take care of her, and then after the said period, Gautama returns her to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji is very amazed. So this is all from other Puranas also. So Brahmaji is amazed that this Gautama has so much restraint, that such a, so when Ahalya was created, she was supposed to be the most beautiful person in the world, so in the universe. So such a beautiful person, still this Gautama had so much restraint and returned her back to me. So Brahmaji says, no, you keep her with you, you marry her, you accept as your wife, etc. So the Sunirmite shows that, so Susamahite shows that, so very beautiful lady, that's the idea. So he's telling, hey beautiful one, hey beautiful lady. So Arthinaha Ritukalam na pratikshante. So Ritukalam here means, so there are some appropriate times in the Shastras when you know sexual union is kind of what should I say, approved. So this is the time when you can have union. So he's telling, hey Susamahite Arthinaha here is, so Arthinaha is Kamarthinaha. So Arthinaha, let me find that exactly. So Arthinaha, just a second. Ratikamaha Janaha. That is these people who are, you know, who are what should I say, who are desperate for a union. Those people don't wait for appropriate time. So Ritukalam Arthinaha Napratikshante. So this shows that perhaps Ahalya told him that this is not the appropriate time. So you should not ask for such a thing because it's not the appropriate time for a union. So they say Diti also approached Kashyapa at an inappropriate time. He tried to stop her, but she didn't listen, and that's how she gave birth to that Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashyapa, they say. Anyway, so Arthinaha Ritukalam Napratikshante. This also you can take as a quotable quotes from Valmiki Ramayana, but in a negative sense. That is, you should not do like that. In that sense, you can take it as Arthinaha Ritukalam Napratikshante. They don't wait for the appropriate time. He Susamahite. So there is a shloka like that. Kama Turanam na bhayam na lajja. So those people who are, you know, desperate, or who have been made desperate due to that kama, that desire. So they have no bhayam, that is no fear, and no lajja. They don't have any, you know, shame. And then so there are some things, Vidyarthinaha, so na sukham na nidra, something like that. There's a very beautiful shloka, but here kama turanam na bhayam na lajja, so something like that. So there is no waiting for appropriate time when you are desperate with that desire. That's what Indra is telling. So this is, so don't tell me that this is not the appropriate time. This shows, all commentators are saying, this shows that Ahalya told him that this is not the appropriate time first. Sangamam toham ichhami tvaya saha sumadhyame. So what he's expressing his desire, what I want is, I want to so have this union along with you. Sangamam tu aham tvaya saha sangamam ichhami. I desire union with you. Hey sumadhyame. Sumadhyame means somebody who has a slender waist. That is, hey beautiful Ahalya, I desire union with you. So Munivesham Sahasraksham Vijnaya Raghunandana Matim Chakara Durmedha Devaraja Kutuhalat. So this is where you know, all other versions of Ramayana differ from Valmiki's own version. Valmiki is clearly saying that Ahalya knows that the person who has come is Indra only, and Tilakakara very nicely says, how does she know that this person who has come is Indra? Because of 2-3 reasons. So one reason is, he is asking, this person who has come, though he has come in the Vesha of Muni, he is asking for union at an inappropriate time. So she knows this is definitely not Gautama, because Gautama is a great tapasvi. He wouldn't express such a desire. And also she had her own tapas shakti, because of which she knows that this person who has come is as Gautama is Indra only. She knows that. And then why did he assume the form of Gautama? That also Tilakakara is telling, because other people in the ashrama, they should not get any doubt or things like that. That's why he assumed the form of Gautama and came. Anyway, Munivesham Sahasraksham Vijnaya. So Sahasraksham Munivesham Vijnaya. That is, she knows that this person who has assumed the form of this Gautama Muni is none else than Sahasraksha, Indra only here, Raghunandana. She knew that. So Vijnaya Matim Chakara, having known that, she also expressed her desire. That is, she also made up her mind, Matim Chakara Durmedha. So she who is of a, you know, polluted mind now, because of this desire. So this one small desire she had, that polluted her mind, Durmedha. And then why did she desire like that? Devaraja Kutuhalat. So because of So this Devaraja Kutuhala is meant in two ways. So because Devaraja expressed his Kutuhala is interest here you can take. So this Indra expressed her interest in her, and she thought this Indra, so I have to, honor his interest. And she also had interest in Indra. So Devaraja Kutuhala is from her side also, because he's Devaraja, and she also thought, okay, so this is the Divya Bhoga I can experience, etc. She also had that interest. अथाब्रवीत् सुरश्रेष्ठं कृतार्थेनान्तरात्मना कृतार्थास्मि सुरश्रेष्ठ गच्छ शीघ्रमितः प्रभो. So atha here means after all that union etc is over, atha, so surashreshtham abravit. So she spoke to that Surashrestha Indra, she spoke the following words, and then who she kritarthenantaratmana. How did she speak? So this is an adjective to Ahalya itself. That is, adjective is this describing the story. So that Ahalya whose kritartha, now her antaratma or her manas is something that has achieved her desire. That is, she wanted union with Indra, and that was achieved. So with that mind, that satisfied mind, kritarthenantaratmana surashreshtham abravit. So she spoke the following words to Indra. Now that her desire is satisfied, what is she saying? Kritarthasmi surashrestha, he surashrestha, I am kritartha, I have achieved what I have to achieve. That is, this union has been, so this is something that was in my mind, and that has happened. So itaha shighram gaccha prabho, hey prabho, hey Indra. So itaha, from here, shighram gaccha, go away from here quickly. So quickly go away from here. Atmanam mamcha devesha sarvatha raksha gautamat. So hey Indra, so Atmanam means yourself, and mam means me, hey devesha. So Gautamat sarvatha raksha. So always, so please ensure your devesha, you have so much power. Please ensure that Gautama doesn't know this. That's the idea. That is, protect me and yourself also from Gautama. That is from Gautama's shapa. That's the idea. इंद्रस्तु प्रहसन वाक्यम हल्यामिदम अब्रवीत शुश्रोणि परितुष्टोस्मि गमिष्यामि यथा गतम. So Indrahatu, that is Indra on the other hand, prahasan vakyam, so prahasan ahalyam idam vakyam abravit. So he laughed and spoke the following words to Ahalya. So why did he laugh here? So one of the Tikakaras has many meanings here. So prahasan nityanena, so anyway, I'm not able to spot, but I will tell you the 2-3 reasons why he laughed. First is Indra himself wanted to put a vighna to Gautama's tapas, and the only way he could achieve that is by doing this illicit act with Ahalya. So he is happy now. What Gautama could have done had his tapasya become a great success, so that would have caused me more harm than the curse that this Gautama is going to give. He is sure that Gautama will come now and he will curse me, but he is happy. Okay, that is a smaller loss to me than what would have happened if Gautama was successful in his tapas. Or the other reason why he laughed is because he is thinking, hey Halya, you don't know your prowess. You are a divine person yourself, so you should not have such doubts and problems, something like that. And then Prahasan, I think there is one more. Reason also. So yeah, the other reason is, Halya, you are expressing a desire which is not possible. You are asking me to save you and myself from Gautama. That is not going to happen. You are expressing an impossible desire. You are expressing. That's why also he is laughing. Anyway, Prahasan ahalyam idam vakyam abravit. Indra speaks the following words by laughing. Now, what is Shushroni? Shushroni, I forgot. I don't know the meaning. In fact, I have to see. So Shushroni. So let me see. I always keep this website open. What is the verse number? 22. But am I on that chapter? Just a second. Just give me a minute. Yeah, Shushroni. Well-hipped lady. Okay, so Sumathyama, Shushroni. So Sumathyama. Anyway, Parituštosmi Gamishyami Yathagatam. So Indra, he didn't say I will protect you or anything like that. He just said, I am also very happy. Parituštosmi Yathagatam Gamishyami. I will go back as I came. So maybe he means that, so either say I came in Gautama's Vesha, I will go back in Gautama's Vesha. Anyway, he didn't assure of anything. Evam sangamyatu tada nishchakramo tajat tataha. So evam, so this next line also. ससंभ्रमात् त्वरन् राम शंकितो गौतमं प्रति. So He Rama evam sangamya. So having had that union in this way, that Indra tada atajat. Ataja is that, you know, that hermitage. So atajat tataha Gautamam prati shankitaha. So he's doubtful that maybe Gautama will come up. So he's worried, he's anxious. Gautamasya agamam prati shankitaha, something like that. So he's scared that Gautama might come back. Therefore, and then he sambhrantatva, sambhramat also. So sambhramat means because of that fear. So sambhramat. So atajat tataha nishchakrama. So from that ataja, that is from that hermitage, nishchakrama, he went away. This Indra went away because of that fear that this Gautama might come back. Gautamam sa dadarshata pravishantam mahamunim devadanavadurdharsham tapobala samanvitam. So Gautama, so this Indra was going, and then Gautama was coming, and he saw Gautamam. Gautamam sa dadarshata pravishantam mahamunim. So this Indra saw Gautama first. So Gautamam dadarsha. So that Indra atha, so he saw Gautamam pravishantam. So how did he see? This Mahamuni Gautama was coming. So pravishantam means he was coming into the hermitage. So that Gautama he saw. And this Gautama is Devadanava Durdharsha. So Devadanava Durdharsham Gautamam Dadarsha. So that is this Gautama is having so much power that he is invincible even by Devatas and Danavas. And how did he acquire so much power? Tapobala Samanvitam. Because he had Tapobala. Because of that Tapobala, he is so invincible that even Devatas, Danavas, etc. cannot harm him in any way. Tirthodaka Pariklinnam Deepyamana Vivanalam Grihita Samidham Tatra Sakusham Munipungavam. So Tirthodaka Pariklinnam, that is he kind of wet himself by Tirthodaka, that is he went and had bath. So that kind of Gautama who had bath, he is coming back. That Gautama this Indra saw. And Deepyamanam Ivanalam. So Analam Iva Deepyamanam, that is he's blazing like fire. See here also he's using two shlokas. So to describe that Gautama which Indra saw, that is to like I told you in the beginning, that is to dwell upon Indra's fear of Gautama. So that's why he is using two shlokas beginning from Gautamam sa dadarshata till Grihita Samidham Tatra Sakusham Munipungava. So this Munipungava who is also holding this kusha grass and with Samid in his hand. So Grihita Samidham Sakusham, that Munipungava Gautamam Dadarsha. This Indra saw that Gautama who was holding kusha and this kusha grass and Samidha and who's blazing like fire, etc. That kind of Gautama this Indra saw. That is, so his now fear is fixed. So he's now, you know, trembling in fear, etc. You can imagine. Drishtva Surapati Trasto Vishannavadano Bhavat. So Drishtva, having seen that Gautama, the Surapati, this Indra Trastaha, so he became, you know, perplexed or now he became afraid, and Vishannavadano Bhavat. So Vishannavadanaha is, so he became very pale face. That is, he became, you know, out of that fear, he lost all the charm of his face, something like that. Vishannavadano Bhavat. So Vivarnavadano Bhavat is another alternate patha. That is, he became very pale in that fear. That's the idea. Atha drishtva sahasraksham munivesha dharam munihi durvrittam vritta sampanno roshad vachanam abravit. So this Muni also saw Indra now. So atha sahasraksham drishtva. So munivesha dharam sahasraksham drishtva. This Munihi, Gautama Munihi, he saw this drishtva. So saw this Sahasraksha who was in the form of Muni. Durvrittam vritta sampannaha. So Durvrittam is, so he who's having this wrong conduct. So that kind of Indra, and he's also Vritta Sampannaha. That is, so this Indra who has accomplished all this task that has just passed by. That's the meaning of Vritta Sampannaha. Roshad Vachanam Abravit. In great anger, Gautama spoke the following words. Mama Rupam Samasthaya Kritavana Sidurmate Akartavyam Idam Yasmad Viphalastvam Bhavishyasi. So Mama Rupam Samasthaya Akartavyam Idam Kritavanasi. Hey Durmate, hey Indra of polluted mind. So Mama Rupam Samasthaya, having assumed my form, Idam Akartavyam Kritavanasi. You have done this Akartavya Karma. That is a thing that you should not have done. You have done Kritavanasi. So Akartavyam Kritavanasi. You have done something that is not to be done. So Yasmat, because you have done something that is not to be done, that is Yasmat Munivesham Samasthaya. So Yasmat Mama Rupam Samasthaya Akartavyam Idam Kritavan Asi He Durmate Yasmat. Because of this reason, so Yasmat is coming, you have to put Tasmat also, you have to bring in. So Tasmat Viphalastvam Bhavishyasi. So you will become infertile or infecund. So fecundity they say. So some of the words you learn when you learn, you know, economics of population and things like that. So fecundity. So fecundity is actually, this word is used in translation Valmiki Ramayana, but it means that not capable of producing any more children. So that is what Indra. So that is what he cursed Indra. So Viphalastvam Bhavishyasi, you will become infecund. That is, you will become infertile. So anyway, so Viphalastvam Bhavishyasi Gautamevaina Muktasya Suroshena Mahatmana पेततुर्वृषणो भूमौ सहस्राक्षस्य तत्क्षणात्. सो गौतमेन एव मुक्तस्य, सो महात्मना गौतमेन एव मुक्तस्य, सुरोषेण महात्मना गौतमेन एव मुक्तस्य इंद्रस्य सहस्राक्षस्य. सो वृषणौ, that is the two testicles, vrishana means testicles, the two testicles of that Indra who was thus spoken to by Gautama. That's the idea. Sahasrakshasya vrishanau, the two testicles of that Sahasraksha. Who's that Sahasraksha? Mahatmana Gautamena eva muktasya. So Suroshena, with great anger, this Mahatma Gautama spoke so that curse to Indra. So that Indra, who was thus cursed by Gautama, so his Vrishanau Bhumau Tatkshanat Petatuhu. So his testicles fell down on the ground immediately after the curse of Gautama. So Indra lost his fertility. That's the idea. His testicles fell down on the ground. तथा शप्त्वा च वै शक्रं भार्यामपि च शप्तवान् इह वर्षसहस्राणि बहूनि निवसिष्यसि. So तथा शप्त्वा, so having, so shakram तथा शप्त्वा, having cursed Indra in that way, भार्यामपि च शप्तवान्, he cursed his bharya also. So here shapa, so one of the Tikakara is writing here, shapa is nothing but prayashchitta he is telling. So it's not that he is cursing his bharya or something. Here shapa means prayashchitta. He is offering to her what is the prayashchitta that she has to do for the act that she has done, because there is no bharya parityagam is not there, you know, in our dharma. Anyway, so some prayashchitta he is showing her. So what is that prayashchitta? Iha varsha sahasrani bahuni nivasishyasi. So hey Ahalya, you will live here. Iha means in this ashrama you will live here for bahuni varsha sahasrani, for many thousands of years you will live here, nivasishyasi. And then how will you live? So this is, he's telling you should live like this. That's the idea. Nivasishyasi, you will live here means you should be living here like this. That's the idea. So Vata Bhaksha Nirahara Tapyanti Bhasmashayini Adrishya Sarva Bhutanam Ashramesmin Vasishyasi. So you will live here. Asmin Ashrame Vasishyasi. You will live here in this ashrama. How? Vata Bhaksha. So you will not eat anything. Nirahara, you will not eat anything, but only consume Vayu. That is, you have to perform tapas like that. So Vata Bhaksha Nirahara. So you will be Nirahara, you will not be anything, you will not be eating anything, you will be only consuming Vayu. Vata Bhaksha Nirahara. So Tapyanti. Tapyanti here is you will be performing tapas. That's the general idea. But Tapyanti is, so may you be consumed by that, you know, the, so what is that called? Paschat Tapa it's called. So Tapa there also means fire. So Tapa or heat. So Paschat Tapa is the heat that comes to us, or so heat of thoughts, you know, that guilt. So that guilt that come to us, or repentance that comes to us after we perform a wrong act. So that is what he is telling. So you kind of burn by that repentance. That is, you perform prayashchitta. May those thoughts make you repentant. So Paschat Tapa is the greatest prayashchitta, they say. So that is what Gautama is telling Ahalya. So if you have Paschat Tapa, so Ishvara will always, you know, forgive you anyway. So Tapyanti, and then Bhasmashayini. Bhasmashayini is, so you have to sleep on Bhasma. That is, you have to sleep on this dirt. So this place, Bhasmashayini. So Sarva Bhutanam Adrishya. You will not be seen by anybody. So nobody will be able to see you. You will become, so you will be invisibly doing all this tapas here. That's the idea. So Sarva Bhutanam Adrishya Asmin Ashrame Vasishyasi. So you will live in this ashrama, not seen by anybody else, and you will also sleep on the bare ground, on this dirt, etc. Then Nirahara Vata Bhaksha Tapyanti, etc. So here this Ahalya turning into stone, etc., even that is not there in Valmiki Ramayana. And then these commentators point out that in Padma Purana, etc., the story of Ahalya being turned into a stone, then Rama coming and touching that stone, all that is not there in Valmiki Ramayana. So we will see in the next chapter how Ahalya is now redeemed of that curse. That is, Rama just enters into that ashrama, and at that moment immediately Ahalya will regain her form. So how to account for this turning into stone, etc. So we generally have this very useful tool of saying, okay, in some other kalpa in another kalpa, in another kalpa of this Srishti, the same Ramayana transpired. So Rama came, but some details of that Ramayana varies, and in that some other kalpa Ahalya was turned into stone. That is one way of putting it. Tilakakara tells that, but he says Vastutastu, actually what it means is, so Swarupena Sarvabhutanam Adrisha. In your own form, you will not be seen by anybody else. But then she's also living. She's living there. Vata Bhaksha Nirahara. She's living. So if somebody happens to pass by this place, they will look at. So they will see only a stone. They will not see you. That's the idea. So Sarvabhutanam Swarupena Adrishya. But then to others, because you are living. It's not that you have disappeared or something. You are here. But to people, you look like a stone. In your own form, nobody will be able to see you. So anyway, so that verse is over. Yada tvetadvadanam yada tvetadvanam ghoram ramo dasharathatmajaha agamishyati durdharshaha tada puta bhavishyasi. So yada etad ghoram vanam ramaha dasharathatmajaha agamishyati. So yada means, so at that time when Dasharathatmajaha Rama, who's the son of Dasharatha, etad ghoram vanam agamishyasi, when he comes to this ghoram vanam. Why? Because nirjanatvat ghoram. So because there is nobody in this vanam now, so that's why it will be ghora vanam. So that is already ghoram. Vanam itself is ghoram anyway, and now because I am also going away, this ashrama will be defunct. So it will be ghoram anyway. Ghoram vanam Dasharathatmajaha Ramaha agamishyati. At the time when this Dasharathatmaja Rama will come, tada. So Durdharshaha Ramaha, this invincible Rama, who son of Dasharatha, comes. Tada puta bhavishyasi. That is when you will be purified or redeemed of this act that you have done. Puta here is, so puta. So actually this puta is, he's saying tapyanti. You should burn in that fire of paschatapa. So puta is something that is burnt. Puta, but then purified by burning. That's like gold is burnt and purified, etc. Burnt is, that is, it is gold is melted, and that's how gold gets purified, they say. So puta bhavishyasi tasyatithyena durvrutte lobhamoha vivarjita matsakasham muda yukta swambapur dharayishyasi. Tasya atithyena, by when the Rama comes to this ashrama, by offering atithya to him, hey durvrutte, Ahalya, who has done this kind of wrong act, lobhamoha vivarjita, you will, at that time when Rama comes here and you offer him your hospitality, you will lose all your lobha, moha, etc. So having lost your lobha and moha, matsakasham muda yukta swambapur dharayishyasi. So matsakasham is, you will again join me. That is, I will again accept you, and then muda yukta swambapur dharayishyasi. So you will gain happiness and then attain your own original form once again. Eva muktva mahateja gautamo dushtacharinim imam imam ashramamutsurajya siddhacharana sevite himavat shikare ramye tapastepe mahatapaha. So eva muktva, that mahateja gautamaha, having said the following words, eva muktva dushtacharini eva muktva, that is, having spoken the following words to that dushtacharini Ahalya. So imam ashramamutsurajya, he gives up that ashrama, and then he goes to himavat shikare ramye, that captivating hillocks of Himalayas, which is siddhacharana sevite. So that Himalaya peaks, which is what should I say? Himalaya peaks, which is approached by, or which is inhabited by Siddhas, Charanas, etc. He went there, so he goes there, and tapastepe mahatapa, this Mahatapa Gautama, he goes to Himalayas to perform tapas. Later we will see in the next chapter, he comes again at this when Ahalya regains her body, when Rama enters the ashrama. One thing I forgot to say in the beginning, in second shloka, Devatulya Parakramo, this Deva word, usually we say Deva, so Divkanto, because of that, so Tejomaya Sharira, they have Devatas, we say. Shiromani Kara has a nice way of explaining it here. Devo Krida Shilo. So Deva means, do you follow so far? I see there's a loss of connection. Okay, so Devatulya Parakramo, Shiromani Kara is telling, so Devo means Krida Shilo. So this Devas means they are playful. That's the idea of Deva here. He's telling, how did it come? So this Dimu Dhatu has many meanings. It has 6-7 meanings. I don't remember exactly. Dyuti, Kanti, Krida. So there are many meanings like that. So this Dimu Kridayam is also there. And that's how this Krida Shilo, Shiromani Kara is explaining. So that brings us to the end of this sarga. Ityarshye Srimad Ramayane Valmikiye Adi Kavye Balakande ष्टचत्वारिंशः सर्गः. Om यत्र यत्र रघुनाथ कीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्. पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरिः ओम तत्सत्. श्रीरामार्पणमस्तु. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम तत्सत्. Yeah, so I was just, as I was saying earlier, that the story of Ahalya in Valmiki's Ramayana is like this. It's very clear that Ahalya knew that the person who has come is Indra, and then she accepted him that way because Devaraja Kutuhalat, etc. But then Gautama doesn't give up. So that is one thing that is there in, so this Bharya Parityaga is not there in the Dharma. So, and in this light, then you have to see all these constructed stories of Sita Parityaga, etc. Be that as it may, I thought I will tell this. There are other commentators like Dharma Kutam, etc. I have seen. So, as I told you long back, Dharma Kutam doesn't explain all verses, just mentions episodes here and there and has some discussion. There also it is said that if so anyway, they have their interpretations. I don't want to go into that. This is the story of Ahalya, and then we will see. By the way, so these two shlokas in the end, that Rama will come in the future, Rama who's Dashrathatmaja. So you will see some, so even in Shabari's story, so Shabari's guru also will tell her that Rama will come. But anyway, I don't know there what the commentators will say. Here Tilakakara is telling that Kataka is one commentary on the most ancient available commentary, I suppose, on Ramayana is Kataka. So that Katakakara, Tilakakara is saying, Katakakara is saying that these two shlokas are prakshipta, that there is no mention of in the manuscript that Katakakara was referring to, and Katakakara explicitly says that these two shlokas are not written by Valmiki, that in the future some Rama will come who's Dashrathatmaja and do things here. Govindaraja also mentions that some people are saying that this is prakshipta, but it cannot hold true because in the next chapter we will see, as we see next week, next chapter, so Smaranti, Munivachanam Smaranti, so something like that will come, that is Ahalya. So Ahalya was offering hospitality to Rama, and there Valmiki says, so she recollected Muni's Vakya and then offered hospitality, and therefore offered hospitality. So he says, if these two shlokas are prakshipta, this is where, you know, Gautama is telling you offer hospitality to him, etc. So then those words, Smaranti, Munivachanam, etc. become meaningless, he's saying. Anyway, I leave it to you, take it whatever you want. Tilakakara is saying that Katakakara has mentioned this is prakshipta. So even if the shlokas were prakshipta, you can explain Smaranti Munivachanam in some way, you know, she recollected whatever happened in the past, what the Muni said, etc. You can think of that in that way also. I just give you information that is mentioned in the commentaries. One very beautiful thing that is happening to me by reading this Valmiki or by having this Valmiki Ramayana Satsang is I am able to read these very beautiful three commentaries, and for that I thank you people for giving me this opportunity. So I stop recording here.